Hi, it's Timothy Carlson here. Today we go back in time half a century to the world of British cinema. Today we're taking a look at Michael Caine in Get Carter, originally released in 1971. There is no domestic release of this, so I imported it. This is a British release from BFI, the British Film Institute. I'm going to unbox this release, share my opinions, and let you know if it's one I think is worth importing. Nice cover art there with, of course, Michael Caine playing the title character. There is a backing card here as well. There's the spine text. There's what's inside the case. Top and bottom are just plain. Here's the back cover, which has all the info on the release. Underneath here, this is just plain black, and that's really disappointing. I wish they'd put something there, or even just printed the release info on there. I mean, I don't even know why the backing card was needed. But now let's crack this open and see what we get inside. First of all, we actually have a poster. On this side, we have artwork that's more akin to what BFI did with the cover art for the release. On the back cover, we have, vintage art, and I actually really like that. There is a pretty nice thick book here as well. This has some pretty cool production photos and essays. It's pretty long and substantial, so I'm not going to flip through every single page of here, but you can at least get an idea. And if you're a fan, of course, I think you'll be keeping yourself busy with this book for a while. We then have the disc case itself. Back cover pretty much looks like what the backing card looked like. Inside here, we actually have some bonus postcards. And here's what they look like on the back. They've also got quotes from the film, so that's pretty cool. We have the Blu-ray disc, which is bonus features only. That does not include the film on it. And then right here we have our 4K disc itself. Just a heads up that the 4K disc, like all 4K discs, is region free and will work in any player. However, the bonus feature disc is a Blu-ray that's region B locked. I actually tried this in my player and it wouldn't load on either one. Didn't even give me like a region code error message. I couldn't get it to work on my Sony. But when I put it into my Panasonic, I was able to hit the top menu button, and it actually let me play the disc that way. That's the only way I've been able to play it so far, but there is some cool stuff there. And we'll get to that later in the review. I'll read the description of the film as follows from the package. Michael Caine is Jack Carter, the London gangland enforcer who returns to his hometown of Newcastle to investigate his brother's death. Rarely has the criminal underworld been so realistically portrayed as in this 1971 masterpiece. Shot on location, resulting in a devastatingly authentic snapshot of life in the northeast of England, Get Carter remains arguably the grittiest and greatest of all British crime films. Newly restored in 4K from the original camera negative by the BFI and approved by director Mike Hodges, Get Carter is back and looking and sounding better than ever. And this is yet another movie that I'd actually never seen prior to importing this release. But I have to say, this is easily another fantastic role from Michael Caine. There's an intro from Michael Caine on the disc that you can view before the movie if you so choose. And one of the things he mentions about this movie is that prior to this, British gangsters in movies were often depicted as, stupid, bumbling, and silly. That's certainly not the case with Get Carter. This is a gritty, grimy, down-to-earth movie that's just plain violent, sleazy, disturbing, and basically whatever it has to be depending on the scene of the film. There's a pretty strong supporting cast as well, including Britt Ekland as a love interest of sorts. And, of course, Michael Caine, just in his younger years, absolutely at the top of his game. I mean, the guy's like 90 years old, and he still acts. Still one of my favorite actors of all time. And this is certainly one of his finest performances. The on-location shooting and the gritty feel are absolutely unrivaled. There was a later remake of this film starring Sylvester Stallone. I have not seen that remake, so I can't comment on it. But I haven't really heard the best things, so it probably doesn't even hold a candle to this original classic film directed by Mike Hodges and starring Michael Caine. The movie admittedly does have a few too many characters and subplots, and it does get a little bogged down in all of this at times, but I would have to say overall the good certainly does outweigh the bad. BFI has done an absolutely great job with this release of Get Carter. The film retains its very grainy, gritty, grimy look, but there's like no damage in the print. There's the appropriate level of detail, deep dark black levels, and so forth. It's a fantastic looking disc, and this is what classic films on 4K really should look like. No artificial enhancements, just try to make the movie look as good as you possibly can, as good as it looked the day it came out, with no unnecessary tinkering in the light. This is a fantastic transfer, and I am happy that I imported the release. If you have a way of playing that bonus disc, I am happy to say there are a lot of bonus features to be had on there. There's multiple commentary tracks, an isolated musical score track, some pretty lengthy interviews, including one with director Mike Hodges that goes on for nearly an hour. Hodges had a very interesting career as a director. His filmography also includes the 1980 Flash Gordon film with the Queen soundtrack. I've actually done a review for that movie on this channel as well. But if you just sit down and go through this, I mean, you're certainly going to be busy for a while. Everything in this box here is a special feature. I highly recommend this release. I mean, you might not be able to play the bonus features disc on account of the region locking. I was able to get it to work in my Panasonic when I hit the top menu button, but I don't know how it's going to work in other players. It didn't work in my Sony. But if you are a fan of Get Carter and it's the film you're interested in, this is a highly recommended release to import. Are you a fan of Get Carter? Do you think it's one of Michael Caine's best performances? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content, as I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.